Okay, I am Lawrence Smith, the business consultant supervisor here at BACP. Today, we'll be covering mobile food dispensers and preparers. Next slide. All right, so this is just the outline of the presentation. We'll first have a chart of the mobile food licenses. Secondly, we'll cover what it is a mobile food dispenser is exactly. We'll cover what is a mobile food preparer. We'll cover other types of mobile food vendors, license application requirements, duties and related regulations, and also sidewalk cafes. Next slide. So for mobile food vendors, the most common two are the mobile food dispenser and the mobile food preparer. For the dispenser, you have the previously prepared food sold from a wheeled vehicle. And then for the preparer, you have preparing and selling food from a mobile food truck, which is the motorized vehicle. This is the most common. Then you have a mobile prepared food vendor, which is individual, totally enclosed single portion sold from a wheeled, non-motorized vehicle, push cart or hand cart. Then you have a produce merchant. They do the sale of whole and uncooked plant-based items from a freestanding temporary structure. And then lastly, you have mobile frozen desserts vendors. They sell of individual portions of totally enclosed frozen desserts from a 2 or 3-wheeled vehicle, push cart, or hand cart. Next slide. All right, so what is a mobile food dispenser? A mobile food dispenser means any person who, by traveling from place to place upon the public ways, serves previously prepared food that is enclosed or wrapped for sale in individual portions, coffee, other beverages, or whole and uncooked fruits or vegetables from a wheeled vehicle. In other words, someone who is selling wrapped individual portions of food from a mobile platform. The food may undergo a final preparation step immediately prior to servicing a consumer in conformity with rules and regulations of the Board of Health. The price is $700 and it lasts for a 2-year period. Next slide. What is a mobile food preparer? Also, a mobile food dispenser means any person who, by traveling from place to place upon the public ways, prepares and serves food from a mobile food truck. In other words, this is someone who is selling prepared food from a motorized vehicle or food truck, most commonly known. The price for this is $1,000 and the license lasts for a 2-year period. Next slide. So both the dispenser and the preparer, they pretty much have the same license application requirements. You'll meet with a BACP consultant to determine if you or a dispenser or preparer, to determine if you are a dispenser or a preparer, and discuss the overall mobile food vehicle operations and requirements. The Small Business Center is at City Hall, 121 North LaSalle. We're also on the 8th floor. We open weekdays from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Also, you will complete a business information sheet, including all required business information. You also will supply the name and address of the commissary where the vehicle will be cleaned and serviced. And if the vehicle is not stored at a commissary, the name and address of a place where the vehicle will be stored when not in use. It has to be stored at a commercial location, just to let you know. Also, for both, you need a valid, for the dispenser, you need a retail food establishment or shared kitchen user business license to get the dispenser license, especially, because you're going to produce food for sale. For the preparer, you would need a valid City of Chicago food sanitation manager certificate It can be issued to the applicant or the applicant's employees who operate the mobile food vehicle. A certificate of commercial general liability insurance also is required. You have to have limits of or not less than $350,000 per occurrence. This is required for applicants that will use a propane tank or natural gas in the mobile food vehicle. Next slide. All right, so also there's a health consultation and fire safety permit. So for both trucks, the health consultation requirements are that the applicant must complete a consultation with the Chicago Department of Health to review the proposed menu, blueprints, spec sheets for equipment, commissary inspection report, and a fire safety permit application if required. For the fire safety permit, all mobile food vehicles with gasoline, diesel, electrical generators, propane, or compressed natural gas, type 2 exhaust hoods, or fire suppression systems will require a fire safety permit. A fire safety permit consultation packet may be obtained during the health consultation. The permit's $100. Next slide. All right, so we're going to go over the mobile food vehicle requirements. For the dispenser, the mobile food vehicle must be enclosed with top and sides, a hand wash sink with hot and cold water, depending on the menu. Equipment to maintain temps and business name and license number legibly painted on the lateral sides. For the preparer, the mobile food vehicle must be enclosed with top and sides, a 3-compartment sink, hand wash sink, hot and cold water, equipment to maintain temps, wastewater retention, and the business name and license number on the lateral sides. For both, the mobile food vehicle must maintain suitable, tight, non-absorbent, washable receptacles for refuse. The vehicle may not be used for any purpose other than the mobile food vehicle. The vehicle must be registered as a commercial vehicle. All operators must have a valid driver's license. The vehicle shall be inspected and maintained by a licensed propane professional at least every 90 days with copies of the last 4 maintenance reports maintained on board at all times. And if the propane is to be used, there shall be no more than 40 pounds of propane on the vehicle at any time. Next slide. All right, so on-site inspections. For both, after completing the license application and making payment, the vehicle will be licensed. The vehicle to be licensed must be made available for inspection by the health department and, if applicable, but the fire department. The business consultant will schedule your mobile food vehicle license inspection. Next slide. And for license issuance, for both, the mobile food vehicle must pass the required the City of Chicago Department of Public Health inspection, and if applicable, the City of Chicago Fire Department inspections in order for the license certificate or decal to be issued. Mobile food vehicles may not operate until the license certificate and decal are issued. Any city debt must be resolved prior to the issuance or renewal of or changes to any business license. Next slide. All right, so for reoccurring and license renewal inspections, for both, like any restaurant or food establishment, after issuance of the license, mobile food vehicles will be subject to routine sanitation inspections by the City of Chicago Department of Public Health. Such inspections will also include fire safety compliance evaluations if a fire safety permit was required for the license issuance. Also, at the time of a license renewal, all mobile food vehicles are required to be inspected. Next slide.
All right, thanks, Lawrence. I'm going to jump in here. I'm Anna Nelson. I'm one of the supervisors for food protection. I'm the person you'll meet with to do the health consultation for mobile food. So I will walk you through some of the more detailed aspects of what you'll need to go through with the application with me. So first up, we have the operational requirements. Oh, am I skipping? Sorry, Lawrence. I think this is actually your slide.
Are you? Okay. All right. So I'll cover the operational requirements. So no food that is sold or or served from a mobile food vehicle may be stored or prepared in a residential home. All operators must work in conjunction with a commissary or shared kitchen to store and prepare food. Mobile food vehicles shall move from place to place on the public way. Stops to service customers cannot exceed a total of 4 hours or the maximum permitted period for parking, whichever is less in any one block. Hours of operation are 5 a.m. to 2 a.m. Mobile food vehicles may operate from the designated food stands not to exceed to the 4-hour limit. And for the food stands, when you come to the center, that is something we would give out to you, a map of the food stands. Mobile food vehicles may operate on private property, not to exceed the service limit of 4 hours, as long as the property is properly zoned and the property owner has provided permission for such use. Mobile food vehicles are prohibited on privately owned vacant lots or on the lot of a vacant building. No mobile food vehicle may stand within 200 feet of the principal customer entrance to a restaurant located at street level, except for between the hours of 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. Next slide. All right, mobile food vehicles, they must be in continual compliance with the City of Chicago Fire Department regulations governing the use of propane, natural gas, fire suppression hoods, and/or generators. All mobile food vehicles must be equipped with a global positioning system device. Next slide.
Okay, I'm back. Now we'll start with health. Okay, just a reminder, I'm Anna Nelson from Food Protection. So here's some details. I figured we would recap the just overall mobile food licensing process so you can get a feel for the steps and the order they're going to go in because it is pretty complex. There's 3 or 4 different departments that are involved in food truck licensing. So here we go. The whole process starts when you apply for your mobile food license at BACP with a business consultant. Once you've met with them, they will pass you to me. You'll have a health consultation. Once you've formally applied, you can then schedule your free assessment. This is basically a consultation inspection where both health and fire get on board your truck and let you know if they're noticing any violations. There's no cost for this and there's no penalty for these. It's just simply a way to get your truck inspected on the early end of your application process and identify things you need to work on before we get to the licensing process. Once your health consultation is complete, we'll have you pay for the license application. Once payment's made, then we'll schedule final inspections. This will be health and fire if you have fire safety components. These are scheduled through the health supervisor, which is me. Once you pass inspections, this is when you would complete your fire safety course if you are required to. And then finally, once your inspections are passed, this is when we would actually issue the license and decal for your vehicle and you could begin operating. Okay, some notes on the health consultation process. When you meet with me, I will provide you a detailed list of documents, photos, letters, etc., that need to be submitted for my review. This is going to be custom based on your truck, your operations, your commissary options, and whatnot. So I will always give you an updated list when you come see me so you can see exactly what's left every time we meet. Consultation paperwork needs to be submitted in person at the BACP office. You are able to apply online for these licenses, but you do need to meet with me in person to submit paperwork, just due to the volume of paperwork and the complexity of the license involved. Most applicants typically meet with health several times during the consultation period. You don't have to, it's just kind of how it works out as people kind of put together the different documentation I request. Most applicants take several weeks to get through the licensing process. Like I said, this is not a rule, but it's mostly dependent on how quickly an applicant can submit the required paperwork. That's just kind of the average I see. All inspections, including the fire inspection, are coordinated through the health supervisor. I manage the calendar for it, so for inspections, re-inspections, those would all get scheduled through me. And these are also done at the same location. Both health and fire inspections meet at the health department office over on the west side. During renewals, applicants should contact health. Health will collect some updated paperwork from you, make sure your truck is current on things, and then get you on the calendar so you can renew your license. And my note here is that produce merchants are not a part of this process. They do not need a health consultation or a health inspection, but the rest of the mobile food licenses we mentioned do. Okay, some notes on the commissary. We use the word commissary to describe any of the licensed food service establishments that you're using to support your mobile food operations. So this could mean the shared kitchen you're using, the restaurant you're using for food prep, if you happen to be a wholesale facility, things like that. So it's just a general term to describe these different places you might be using to support your truck. If your vehicle has a water tank, hot and cold water for either dishwashing or hand washing, you must use a pre-approved servicing commissary to fill and empty the tanks. So basically all commissaries that wish to be offering this water servicing need to be reviewed and approved by me. So there are a couple shared kitchens that have approved areas and some other more privately held areas that can do their own servicing. So the key here is when you're doing your water tanks is that you have overhead coverage at the servicing station. So either the truck has a place to pull into in a garage or a covered loading dock. We are able to add or approve or review servicing commissaries if you don't want to use ones on the list, if you're able to find one. So along those lines, you can use a commissary that's located outside the city. However, you would need to provide proof that that commissary meets city requirements. So I would need to do a review in terms of plan, pictures, just make sure it has all the features that our codes require. Applicants can also use more than one commissary to support a vehicle if approved by health. So for example, some places have their own restaurant that they want to use for food prep, but it doesn't have the garage or loading dock they need. So they also use a shared kitchen for servicing their water tanks. So that's one example we commonly see, especially if a place has their own restaurant already. Finally, if a vehicle does not have water tanks, your commissary requirements are a little different because you don't have a water system to service. You do still need to provide off-street parking at that location, so you can pull the vehicle in and clean and service it, load, unload, things like that. And in this case, overhead coverage would not be required. It'd be just simply a parking spot on site. Okay, for some operational notes, as we mentioned earlier, health and fire both may conduct routine inspections while the vendor is out operating in the field or at special events. Speaking of special events, we do require a special event license for any mobile food that wants to participate. Your regular truck license would not cover you at a special event. You would need to get a special event license on top of your mobile food license. We have single event options where it would cover you just a single weekend, or you can get a seasonal license, which would cover you for up to 180 days. If you are interested in doing special events once your truck is licensed, you would just need to either contact BACP or health. We can get you set up with the application. The City of Chicago Mobile Food License would cover you and your operations within the City of Chicago. If you want to use your truck and vend outside the city in the suburbs or surrounding Chicago areas, you would need to contact the local jurisdiction that you want to vend in and see if they have any rules or requirements for you. So don't assume that your Chicago license would cover you if you do leave the city. Finally, I just wanted to note here that where you can find our rules and regulations, both the Municipal Code of Chicago, so the ordinance, covers details for food truck operations, how the truck needs to be designed, things like that, and the rules and regs. So it's two different documents that you can find to help you decide how to design your truck or operate your truck. All right, that's it. I think we'll open it for questions, but I'll pass it to Stella for the moment.
Presentation will be shared via via YouTube. So today's presentation was recorded. To view this presentation again, you must go to youtube.com/Chicago BACP. Again, that's youtube.com/Chicago BACP. Can you have a mobile food vendor inspection before purchasing it?
Our general qualification is that you have applied with us. It does not cost anything at this time to apply, but we would need you set up with an account and an actual application in the system before we would schedule you for a free assessment.
Is there a type of truck requirements?
It needs to be a commercial vehicle and needs to be only used for the business of your mobile food. We do not have a specific type of vehicle that it needs to be. And in fact, there's a wide variety of things that could work as long as the inside and other features are meeting food code. Same goes for push carts.
Regarding the 200 rule, what if the restaurant is A, not open for business when a food truck is providing service, or B, if the restaurant is open but only offers delivery and carry out and does not compete with food truck operators? C, if the food truck is only providing prepaid service for a private event to a closed audience.
I'll take that one. It doesn't matter whether they're open or not. If they have an active license, the rule is still in effect. If the restaurant is open, only offers, the rule will still apply, even if it's a carry-out only restaurant. They're going strictly by the code. And if the truck is offering prepaid service for a private event, this one wouldn't apply because, I mean, if you just parked and carrying the food to the actual event and you weren't open to people in the public way, then that one, I mean, you could probably get away with, because technically you're just delivering food to an event. You're not servicing people in the public way.
To obtain the permit to stand the vehicle in a space owned by the Chicago Park District or by the city?
Hold on, let me see that question. Well, if it's the park district and the city are separate. So if you're doing something on the park district, I mean, you have to contact their licensing department. For the city, contact your alderman, and then they'll usually reach out to us. And then, if we can make the change and get a spot permit, then, it could happen. But everything starts with the alderman.
I wanted to sell sushi. Do I need to prepare it in a shared kitchen? And what mobile options can I utilize?
You want that one, Anna, or you want me to take it?
Sure, yeah, I can take it. You could prepare it in a shared kitchen if you wanted to, and then cool it down and hold it cold on the truck until you sold it. If you wanted to make it on the truck, you would need to have a mobile food preparer license that has the hand washing and dishwashing involved, and then make sure you are still following all time temperature requirements. For example, you would not be able to sell room temperature sushi. All your sushi fish would need to be held cold at all times, including when you're prepping and serving it.
If the food truck gets the City of Chicago business license, can operate some hours in other cities in Illinois?
It depends on the other cities. It's totally up to them. Each municipality is different. But you cannot operate let's just say, for instance, you have a Schaumburg license. You can't use that to operate in the city of Chicago. The city won't accept anybody else's license. Now, will Schaumburg accept the city's license? That's totally up to them.
I have a trailer that I would like to turn into a food truck. It's 8 by 15. Is this possible?
I mean, it has to be an enclosed vehicle. So if it's a vehicle dragging a trailer, that's, trailers aren't really allowed. If it's an enclosed vehicle, maybe that we always have to see it. That's why we request pictures of the truck. But if it's a trailer by itself with no engine, no.
Yeah, just to add to what Lawrence is saying, in general, trailers are illegal. We do not license trailers. It needs to be a motorized vehicle where the motorized component is attached to the food service component. And in general, you can't tow anything behind your truck, whether it's a grill or other types of equipment that might be associated with your food service.
The process for applying is online. How much time does it take to find out if you're approved or denied?
It could take months if you do it online. We always recommend that you apply in person. I mean, it'll probably take a couple of weeks and a couple of trips to the center, but a couple of weeks is faster than a couple of months. Online is just not equipped because we're asking for a lot of things with the food truck application. So it'll be a lot of back and forth. And even once we get everything, then you have another consultation with Anna, and then you got to give her everything she needs. So it takes a long time if you do it online. It's always recommended to come in person.
Yep, just to add to that, like I said, you're welcome to make the actual application online if that's what you prefer, but you are going to have to come down in person and meet with me to submit your documents on paper. We will not allow you to upload them online or email them. You'll have to do an in-person consultation to submit any supporting documents for your food truck consultation.
What if food has to be cooked on the spot? For example, burgers, fries, etc. Is that a different type of license?
That's the what do we call that? That's the preparer. So if you want that license, then you apply for the preparer license. The dispenser is like the pre-cooked food. If you want to cook on the truck, you'll apply for the preparer.
License for the truck without getting a license for the brick and mortar, since the brick and mortar is still not ready to open. I want to park the truck at the brick and mortar.
Want to take that one, Anna?
Sure. The short answer is no. You must have a licensed commercial establishment associated with the truck. You cannot operate the truck without having an active physical location to prep your food, do your garbage, do your tanks, etc., even if you are parking there. So if your brick and mortar was not ready, you would need to find a different commissary to use in the meantime.
Is this program for people with food trucks already?
I'm trying to look for that question. What do you? Oh, no, this is for people that are, if you're, I guess it would be a yes. You would have to have a food truck in your possession to apply. So it's not to help you purchase one, it's to evaluate the food truck you're trying to, you're trying to obtain and sell food from.
About filling out the application to operate a food truck. I was a little late to the class, sorry.
It's recommended that you would apply in person. Anna is in our office Tuesday and Thursday. So you'll want to apply in person. We're open weekdays and we're 8:30 to 4:30. It's recommended you come on the day she is there, just in case you have extra questions that we cannot answer. They need to be answered by the health department.
Ice cream. Do I have to put the unsold items at a commercial place?
Yes. So you are not allowed to keep any temperature control foods or ingredients on the mobile unit overnight or while the vehicle is not in use. So that's one of the reasons you would need a commissary. So for ice cream specifically, yes, you'd have to unload it from the cart or the truck and bring it into your commissary for storage.
Any available special fundings, grants by the city to help small business owners get started?
At this time, BACP is not offering any. The zoning department, I do believe, is still doing a neighborhood opportunity fund. It's always recommended that you come and speak to them. They have the same hours and open weekdays, and they're on the 10th floor.
Let me switch over. It's a lot of questions in the Q&A box. But they're pretty much the same. Mhm.
You want me to just go through them, Stella?
Yeah.
All right. So, do you need a separate license to manufacture a food product? Yes. If you're manufacturing a food product, you need a commercial location. You can't manufacture one on a food truck. I mean, the food truck is basically prepared food for immediate consumption. To make sure I understand, my trailer has to have an engine. It can't be pulled to a location. Correct. You cannot have a trailer that's being pulled. It's in the municipal code. It's against the code. How long does the license last? The license lasts for 2 years. I think I had the first question and it was missed. Can a truck be inspected before purchasing it? It's not recommended, but Anna, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, we really just, for BACP purposes, we collect the insurance on the truck. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the title by them, unless you have.
Yeah, we don't, our requirement basically just to keep things organized and encourage serious applicants only. We're going to require that you actually apply for the vehicle license and get set up with an account with us before you can do the free assessment inspection. So if you're able and willing to do that, I don't know how, we don't really look at whether you've purchased the truck or not, but you would need to formally apply.
What if I have a truck but the inside is still not done? Can I still apply? Yes. However, you will not be approved. The application is free. We only charge you once you get approved. What was the name of the funding source? If you're talking about the one I mentioned earlier, on the City of Chicago website, just type in Neighborhood Opportunity Fund. Is there a list of licensed commissaries? Yes. You just type in the Google City of Chicago, and that should just all be one word, and then active business licenses. It'll take you to our portal, and then you'll see a list of all the active commissaries. We license them as either shared kitchen operators or shared kitchen supplemental.
I just want to jump in for that one. So for the licensed commissaries, it depends on what type of truck you have, what you're going to be looking for. As I mentioned before, you've got a water system on your truck. There's only a couple shared kitchens in Chicago that have approved servicing areas. The list is pretty short. If you would like to get the names of those places, I'd be happy to provide them to you if you come and meet with me or check in with me via email. You can use the license lookup that Lawrence is mentioning, but it's going to give you the general list of shared kitchens in Chicago. Not all of them are going to be able to service trucks that have water systems. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for, which direction is best for you to go searching.
All right, so the next one is, what if you have a location and you want to sell your product on a cart prepared at your location? So it depends on what you mean by location. I mean, I don't know, you want to jump in on that one? Because I think it would have to be retail food.
Yeah, we didn't talk about carts very much. So just to clarify a couple of things with carts, if you are wanting to sell from a push cart, you must be making and packaging all of your food at your licensed commissary. These are individually packaged. So what you're giving the customer from your cart is something that's already in an individual container. You are not allowed to handle any open foods from your cart. So you cannot mix things per customer order. You cannot pour beverages. You should not build a hot dog per customer order and hand it to someone. Everything in your cart is in the package the whole time until the customer opens it to consume it. So you are basically not preparing anything on the cart. Everything is already prepared and packaged by the time it gets to the cart.
All right, so the next one, how often does your truck need to pass a city inspection? I mean, is every renewal or is it sooner than that?
It's going to be every time the license renews, and if we see you at a festival or have a complaint or need to see you in the field and need to get you done. So we are definitely going to see you at every renewal period, and we might see you more frequently than that based on complaints or just the general canvas inspection.
All right, so next one is the little carts that sell packaged ice creams must meet the same requirements that motor trucks selling the same? No.
Carts and trucks are handled very differently. Obviously, carts are much simpler than trucks, and so the rules are going to be much different.
All right, so what about a mobile semi kitchen? I've seen 53-foot semi pizzas huts that have service military bases.
What I'm going to caution this is it a trailer that's being towed? When you're saying semi, I'm thinking of like a semi truck that has a towed compartment. So we would not allow that. We do not have a size limitation on how long your mobile food truck is. However, when you are getting your water tank serviced, you must provide complete overhead coverage of the truck, and you're going to be limited by the size of the commissary that you can find to accommodate the size of your truck.
All right, so as a request to share your email address, I don't know if you want to do that.
That's fine, I'll put it in the chat.
All right. If I bought a lot in the right zone area, can I use my trailer for that? No, the trailer is not allowed. What if I have a place that has a commercial kitchen, but also have an after-school program? Can I still use that place? Well, that's kind of a health question.
It depends on the base license there. If they have a retail food license, they could potentially get a shared kitchen license and share the space with you. But if they have some other type of license that would not allow a shared license on top of that, the answer would be no.
Yeah, it sounds like they would have a children's facility if it's after school program. So that definitely sounds like a no. You gave the email out already. Thank you. All right, so it's on the slideshow. It says, where do we go to get these licenses? 121 North LaSalle, room 800 on the 8th floor, weekdays from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And that looks like the last of the questions.
I see one that is asking if the hatchery is on the list of commercial shared kitchen spaces. Yes, the hatchery is approved for all food truck stuff. You can make your food there and you can service your truck there.
Good catch. All right, Stella, I think we're done.
I see one more question. This
Mhm.
one says, will be packaged, do you need a license for the cart? We have a brick and mortar already. The answer is yes. Each mobile unit, whether it's a cart or a truck or whatever unit you're pushing around, that specific unit needs to be licensed. So if you have more than one push cart, you need more than one push cart license.
Next presentation, I hope our attendees were able to receive the information that they were looking for. If you are a part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program and would like to receive credit for today's webinar, please send an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. To learn more about our upcoming webinars, please go to chicago.gov/business education. Thanks again to our presenters and have a great day.